Is anything too stupid for the Democrats now? That's kind of where I am. Is anything too dumb for them to say? Or do we have to chase down every idiotic statement, every baseless accusation, every moronic policy idea and fight with them on everything? Because apparently some people listen to these Democrats on some stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's just, there's a part of me that wants to say The View's so dumb, who pays attention to The View? Millions of people watch The View every day.
We know that there are a lot of dumb people in media. Among the dumbest, the ladies on The View. And every time I see and hear one of their clips, I just think the amount of stupidity involved in that panel on a day-to-day basis. Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, and Sunny Hostin in particular. Sunny Hostin, who I think the last time we played a clip from her, she was calling white women roaches. And analogizing them voting for Republicans to the equivalent of roaches voting for Raid. Now she's saying something, Buck, that I have to be honest with you. I have never heard anybody argue. Sunny Hostin comes out and says Republicans have a secret plan to raise the voting age to 28. I legitimately have never heard of this plan. I haven't seen any politician advocate for it. But it's The View. There doesn't have to be a truth behind anything that they say. Listen to this.
When you look at the youth voter turnout in the 2022 midterms, they delivered key wins for the Democrats. Younger voters aged 18 to 29, which, by the way, now the Republicans want to raise the voting to age 28. Younger voters were the only voter group by age to overwhelmingly support Democrats in the midterms.
First of all, her data is not really correct because younger voters turned out in bigger numbers in 2020 by far. And Buck, there isn't a single person that I have ever heard arguing. You heard her just throw in there, oh, they're trying to raise the voting age to 28. First of all, that would be an incredibly random age to decide to focus on. But Buck, what in the world is she even referring to? Have you ever heard anybody say, hey, we have to increase the voting age by 10 years?
I think the only thing that I've ever heard where you have to have the 28 age restriction is for renting a car in some states, or is that 26?
25, I think, a lot of times is
25? Car. Okay. So it's not even 28. I've never even heard of a 28 age. Have you, for,
no,
what is it?
It's very weird.
It's very strange to me. The View, see, this is one of the problems. This does speak to a bigger issue that we have, which is that, we're sitting here and we're always just trying to live in reality, get the facts right, and speak the truth as we know it to all the people that are with us all across the country. And that's out of both respect and love for this audience. And so when we hear things that are so stupid in places like The View, yeah, we'll make fun of it, which I do think mockery is a necessary part of counterpoint. So that's one, in the right context, in the right way. We dismiss it, but after this election, I just feel so, I'm like, can we dismiss it? Is anything too stupid for the Democrats now? That's kind of where I am. Is anything too dumb for them to say? Or do we have to chase down every idiotic statement, every baseless accusation, every moronic policy idea and fight with them on everything? Because apparently some people listen to these Democrats on some stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's just, there's a part of me that wants to say The View's so dumb, who pays attention to The View? Millions of people watch The View every day.
Well, and you heard the crowd react when she said that, as if they were stunned that could be going on. And to your point, millions of people will watch that show, and there's no basis in fact for that at all. There is not one iota of evidence or support or factual data to supplement her idea that at 28 years old, Republicans are going to make you have to be that old to vote.
Even the other side, even your opponents can have insight, can have nuggets of wisdom that stay with you, or can just say something very simple that's very profound. And I always remember Harry Reid, formerly the Democrat Senate stalwart. And Harry Reid, you remember what he said about Mitt Romney? He went out and accused Mitt Romney of not paying taxes for 10 years.
Yes.
To which everybody, of all the Republicans to accuse of not paying taxes, like I have some criticisms of Mitt Romney, but him just not paying his taxes doesn't seem like that's, when you have that much money, you just pay people to find ways to make you pay minimum tax and things
That's
like
right.
that. But you don't just refuse to pay your taxes. Point being, though, that he said that Harry Reid said that Mitt Romney hadn't paid his taxes in 10 years. I think he said it on the floor of the Senate, by the way, which also means he's immune from any kind of lawsuit or anything like that. And when pushed about it later on, when it came out that, of course, Mitt Romney has paid his taxes diligently and probably in Boy Scout cross the T's and dot the I's fashion. Remember what Harry Reid said? He didn't win, did he? That's all they care about. So that's, I know that seems so simple, but they'll lie about anything. They'll say anything. They'll fearmonger. They'll make this stuff up. Russia collusion, or, oh, no, we didn't lock down schools, or, oh, we're actually not opposed to fossil fuels. I mean, let's remember one thing that I think gets lost in the shuffle after this very disappointing midterm. Democrats lied their butts off. They played the whole game. They always play, oh, I'm a gun. Remember Tim Ryan holding the gun like it was, like he was holding a used tissue at a distance. He's like, bang, bang. Oh, yeah, I'm a gun-toting Democrat. These people are frauds. But unfortunately, look at the FTX situation. If you're a talented fraud, you can become very powerful and do a lot of damage.
What about the pictures I just shared with you of John Fetterman, Senator Lurch, walking around now in Washington? I mean, the guy can't do the job. He's totally incapable, and yet he won by 4.5 points, which is why I think ultimately we have to go back and we have to reassess and we have to analyze what needs to happen to win in Pennsylvania, in Michigan, in Wisconsin, in Nevada, in Georgia, and in Arizona. Those are the 6 states that are going to decide everything. The only race we won statewide, Buck, in either of those places, we flipped the governor. Lombardo won in Nevada, and Brian Kemp won a landslide. My suggestion to Republicans would be figure out how Brian Kemp won a landslide in Georgia. With the total number of votes going up, by the way, Georgia voted at a way higher rate than the average voting rate in the country, despite the fact that Democrats Stacey Abrams, Joe Biden et al., spent all this time telling us, oh, they've rigged the system. It's Jim Crow 2.0. This is Jim Eagle. And what ends up happening? More people voted in Georgia by far than voted in most of the rest of the country.
And just so when Biden said that, it was meant to be because an eagle is a larger bird than a crow. So is that what he was going for? Is that really? Wow.
He said it's not even Jim Crow, it's Jim Eagle. And Eagle would be Jim Eagle in his mind. It's one of the dumbest things that Biden has said. But yes, Jim Eagle is worse than Jim Crow.
You got to, sometimes you folks you can't lose our sense of humor about the lunacy of our politics.
What's
these
funny
days
about
sometimes.
that too, Buck, is certainly he didn't say that for the first time in the speech. Somebody came up with that in the White House, and they're like, you know what's really going to drive this point home? You say, this isn't even Jim Crow. This is Jim Eagle. And everybody's like, I don't know why they didn't say Jim Ostrich or Bigger Bird.
I think, yeah, it was emus, ostriches. Ostrich is the
there's
biggest
bigger birds
bird.
than the eagle.
Yeah, that's true. I believe a condor is actually can be larger than an eagle. I think that may be true. Some of the California condor was very endangered for a long time. I think it's larger than an eagle. Anyway, we're getting into the discussion here of zoology, which is different from our politics.
Maybe they broke that down in the White House too, Buck. They were sitting around talking about big birds, and they're like, hey, eagle works way better than condor or ostrich.
I mean, and yet somehow, look at, I mean, there are days I wake up, I'm like, they made Joe Biden the president. That was really the original warning sign about all of this. Because I still hold that if Joe Biden can be president, any mediocre to sub-mediocre, middling career politician, Democrat, bureaucrat, if the machine decides that he's going to be the person, it's formidable. They can elect anybody. I mean, if they could give Greta Thunberg citizenship and change the Constitution so that she's old enough, they'd go for Greta Thunberg as president. They just don't care.
What I thought was Biden was an aberration. I think when you look at Fetterman and Katie Hobbs both winning, it shows you that they will elect anybody if they have a D by their name, and Republicans aren't as committed. I mean, just not as committed to party loyalty as Democrats are right now. And the rig game that they've got certainly set up as well.
For us, Clay, politics is a system of beliefs and principles that we hope to better order our society to promote freedom, liberty, and good lives for all of us. For them, it is a deeply held religious belief, which is why when Fauci was saying double mask and when Biden and the rest of them were clapping for the BLM riots and all these things happen, it takes rationality out of it. We have to understand that the Democrat collectivists, you can't actually reason with them on a lot of this stuff because it doesn't matter. It's just all about team. It's all about being allied to their side.
I'd also point out that their base is super emotional. And so
emotionally unstable.
Emotion, yes. Appeals to emotion work for them in a way that, frankly, I don't think they work as well for Republicans.